What's going on, y'all? How's everybody been doing? So I know a few of y'all saw my live that I had put up Wednesday morning. First things first, I appreciate Lockout Man and Smallfire. I appreciate y'all for checking in with me, making sure that I'm good. Most of y'all probably didn't see it. I put it out around 3:30 in the morning Wednesday. I did take it down. I did take it down, but we're gonna talk about that in just a minute. So today is, what is today? Thursday. I just got home. Reason I'm home is I needed a mental break from the truck. I'm sure you're wondering, Trucker D, what's up? What are you talking about? One thing about this industry, one thing is, I love what I do, but, as a truck driver, people don't really, it's a lot of things, we go through and deal with out here mentally too. You know, this job, it's not for everybody, It's more to this job than just holding that steering wheel going down the road. You're going to see some things, unfortunately, that could be life changing, whether that be, traumatic, which, I'm dealing with right now. So let's talk about what happened Wednesday morning. So most of y'all already know the bid that I have. I was on my way up to Birmingham. I was driving through Eufaula, Alabama. I had just got off the US 431 and got on US 82 now. US 82 between Eufaula and Union Springs,. These past, few weeks, I've been, I guess you could say, on edge. Um, if anybody's ever been on that particular stretch between Eufaula and Union Springs, one, it's a very dark road. It's a lot of, it's a few sharp curves. It's a lot of deer, and of course, the signal, is in and out. And I want to say maybe last week, I had a very close encounter hitting a deer. Now, this is not the first time I've hit a deer, but ever since that first time, it's changed me, So I'm always, on edge for that particular time. So I got on the road last night, well, in the morning, I should say. I don't know why, but it was just really foggy Wednesday morning. It was just ridiculous. Visibility, like limited visibility. It had been raining. So I'm going westbound, and I know this road pretty well. So I know where all the hills are. I know where the curves are. I know where the signal goes in and out. So I'm coming up to my first hill, and even though it's foggy, sorry about that, camera had died. So I was saying, I was coming up, to my first curve, and in the distance, I see these lights. I think they were flashing. So, I start, slowing down gradually. And, as I pass by, next thing I know, I'm sliding down the road. It all happened, so fast, because it was wet, I knew not to instantly slam on the brakes because I didn't want to potentially jackknife or, end up in the ditch. And I'm just looking in my mirror, and I see my rear pup. It's just going like this. I'm able to, to regain control of it. And as I'm going, I hear this loud doosh. So I knew I hit something. I just assumed that maybe I hit a deer since there's a lot of deer on this road. So nonetheless, I slow down. I come to a stop. I get out, just wonder like, what in the world, just happened. So again, it's pitch black. So I get out. I have my light. I'm looking. I check the bumper. I check everything. And as I'm getting out, the car that was behind me, all of a sudden the car loses control, and I kid you not, I watched this car lose control, and he flipped at least 3 or 4 times and landed into the trees. So at that moment, my instinct kicked in. I immediately, ran, as fast as I could, to that person, to make sure that he or she was okay. They get out. And what surprised me, he jumps out the car like nothing had asked me. He asked me, am I okay? I'm like, dude, you just flipped over 4 times. Like, are you okay? So, nonetheless, he's good. He's confused just like I am. So I continue walking forward to where I saw those lights originally. And as I'm walking, I'm looking at the ground. All I see is blood. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And then I start seeing chicken heads, like literally heads of a chicken, parts of a chicken. And I realize, it's one of those chicken scrap trucks, I guess the remains. And then I get closer and I realize, it's 2 semis, it's a logger and then this chicken truck. He had like an end-dump trailer full of chicken parts. I'm yelling like, is anybody there? Is everybody okay? Is everybody okay? I end up hearing a voice, it turns out it was the driver in the first truck, the logger. He was like, oh, he's like, I'm okay. So I'm asking him, I'm like, where's the driver for the second truck, the chicken truck? He tells me he doesn't know, he can't find him. So I'm calling out, is anybody in there? Is anybody in there? And then I shine the light. I shine that light and I see the driver. I see the driver in there. He was, pronounced dead on the scene. Those logs, since that driver in front of him had logs, when he rear-ended them, it pretty much tore that whole truck. You could barely recognize. The only way I was able to recognize the truck is because I could see the logo that said Kenworth. Because at first I couldn't even tell what type of truck it was. That's how badly damaged it was. Like ripped the whole sleeper. Like that's how I was able to see him. I was able to see him through the sleeper. And, I had hope that maybe he was alive. I was calling like, hey, sir, can you hear me? Sir, can you hear me? But there was no response. I don't really want to go in details, but he looked hard. He looked bad. So I wasn't sure if anybody had called 911, so I instantly, called 911, let them know where we were at, let them know that there's one, I believe, that's deceased, and I let them know of the four-wheeler that had lost control and that we need, some people out here. So fast forward, they come out, of course, they secure the scene and everything. They're asking me, am I involved? No, I wasn't directly involved. I just hit the debris. And, I didn't have like any damage or nothing, just pretty much all the chicken guts and heads and everything was all over the truck and trailer. I mean, that stuff was all under the hood, the frame, literally from the front bumper to my second pup. It was covered in blood and it was bad. I later learned the cause of the accident. The driver in the log truck, he had stalled out. He'd stalled out going up the hill. I'm not really sure how he stalled out because it's not a big hill. If you're heavy, the most you'll have to drop is maybe 1 gear, but it's not like, I don't know. But I'm assuming the log or the chicken truck, since it was so foggy, there's no way he would have been able to see him. Now, I don't know how long that log truck had been sitting there prior to him getting rear-ended. I don't know. But the way that truck was positioned, I could tell that he had tried to get around him before hitting him, but it was too late. It was too late. But I'm not going to drag this out, so I'll have part 2. I'll probably release part 2 to the rest of this. Y'all will probably see either Friday or Monday, so y'all stick around for part 2.